Real quick before we get started, we're almost at 1,000 subscribers, guys, so if you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe to help us reach that goal. Taking a look at V Ryzen running on the AMD Ryzen 5 5500U. Now, this brand new early access game has been all over the place, and it has been one of the most popular games out on the market right now, and it's currently running at 1080p with FSR set to performance mode at the lowest graphical settings. And really surprisingly, even with FSR, the level of performance that we're getting out of this is just not that great. In fact, Sniper Elite 5 was actually running significantly better than this, and that was a much bigger game than this. Though I guess one of the biggest differences is the fact that this is running on DirectX 11 and Sniper Elite 5 actually runs on both DirectX 12 and Vulkan. And I think that's really what's holding us back here more than anything else. I mean, DirectX 11 has never exactly been the best performer on AMD chips, and this is, by the way, on the most recent drivers which were supposed to have fixes for DirectX 11. So this is still the most ideal situation for DX11 on AMD right now. So with that being said, really not impressive levels of performance, especially since we just saw a brand new AAA title perform much better than this using very similar feature sets. I really wish that they would at least implement something like Vulkan in this game so that we could at least get some better performance on lower end hardware like this. It is an early access title, so hopefully that's something that they are at least thinking about implementing. I'm curious honestly to see how this would perform on Linux, since you can pretty much just force that to just use Vulkan. But overall, at the 15 watt TDP, we are pretty much getting what is essentially a 30 FPS average with 1% lows that dip down into some pretty low 20 ranges. And this is early on in the game. As things get more intense, the performance is just going to drop down dramatically. It's going to be pretty rough to play like this. Now, you can alleviate some of these problems by dropping the resolution, but of course, FSR is going to be running at some very, very low resolutions at that point, and it really just comes down to whether or not you're willing to stomach that drop in quality. And what really convinced me that this is some limitation based off of the fact that this is DirectX 11 is the fact that if we raise the TDP, it really did not do much at all for the performance. Let me show you that right now. As you can see here at the 25 watt TDP, it's just not really giving us any improvement overall compared to 15 watts. So this really just tells me that there are some maybe limitations going on here that are not easily alleviated. So really, I'm kind of disappointed to see how this ended up performing on here. I get it, it's an early access game. Hopefully things improve as development goes on into the game, but as it stands, it's really just bordering on the edge of playability right now. And it really just depends on how much you're willing to stomach this level of performance, because again, this is early game. As things develop, as things, as you start to build out your castle and deal with bigger, more powerful enemies, the performance is going to drop even worse than this. So just understand that you are going to probably struggle to play this into the later game, and I really don't think that it's going to end up being worth it. You can of course drop down the resolution down to 900p or 720p and use FSR, but just understand that you're going to be sacrificing a lot of quality to get that. But anyways, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next one.